Hello everyone, I am the Weather Dude. Welcome back, and today we are back talking about some winter storms that could be trekking across the United States. I know it's unusual to say this in April, much less late April, but there are some storms out there that do bear watching. Some over the northern plains and even some for the northeast. So let's get into it. Alright, so starting off, we are reviewing a winter storm watch that is in place across western North Dakota right now. And here's the zone that it is in, right? So here you have western North Dakota, all right, and also parts of Montana as well in that winter storm watch. Some more maybe well-known places in North Dakota include Minot, right? Bismarck is not in it yet, but they may be soon because the storm will be moving east, all right? But they are under that hazardous weather outlook though, and a high-impact storm is possible this weekend. So this is definitely something that bears watching across the Dakotas, and this isn't the only storm that we'll be talking about, all right? There will be more to come. So heavy snow, blowing snow, and even some freezing rain are possible. 6 to 14 inches of snow, and you can see as much as of 1/10 of an inch of ice, and up to 50-mile-an-hour winds. All right, there is nothing like, I don't think in terms of winter weather aspect, I don't know if there's anything more brutal than like windy, blowing snow and ice, just like the blowing like ice crystals, and if one of them hits you, it's brutal. All right, but much of north central and parts of western North Dakota. All right, this is late Friday night through Sunday morning. Travel will be very difficult to impossible. Now, if this was happening, say, over the mid-Atlantic, it would probably be completely impossible, but areas up here are slightly more used to this kind of weather, but still, it is late April. Heavy falling snow, widespread blowing snow, visibility will be reduced, a lot of freezing rain. And higher elevation areas could see maybe 1/4 of an inch of ice and probably some more snow as well. So maybe higher than 14 inches. And near whiteout conditions will be possible. All right, so going down the list, now this I believe is for far western North Dakota. So the area we just looked at was north central and western part of the state. Now we're like in like far western part of the state. So like these areas right here. All right, so for far western North Dakota, sorry, let's go back to here. 9 to 15 inches of snow, blowing snow, freezing rain, and winds as high as 55 miles an hour. I do believe areas in the far western part of the state are slightly more elevated, I believe. So that could be why they see a little bit more snow and some ice. Near whiteout conditions are going to be possible at times. Again, impossible travel. Definitely don't travel if you're in this area. All right, moving on to Montana, 6 to 18 inches of snow for Montana, with a light glaze of ice possible, winds gusting to 45 miles an hour. This is for the northeastern part of the state. Significant snows, Montana Highway 13, Fort Peck Lake. And I guess forecast amounts are changing daily. These are the mountains. So again, it's very variable there in the snow totals. Look at the potential here to get at least 6 inches of snow. Basically, Minot and then Bowman points west. All right, is where we're going to have the highest probability. For Minot, it is medium probability, but Crosby, Williston, Bowman, high probabilities between 70 and 100% to see over 6 inches of snow. And Minot they're on the border of it, but they do have a chance, Minot, Dickinson, to Bowman, to see at least 1 foot of snow, but the higher probability will be going west on I-94 towards, again, Crosby and Williston, near U.S. Highway 85, U.S. Highway 2, all right? And even highways 52 and 83 going west as well. Could be seeing 1 foot of snow. It's crazy. Like, it is North Dakota, but it's still amazing because it's late April. Like, we're about to be in May in like just over a week. So this is crazy to think about. And here's the freezing rain we were talking about as well. The freezing rain might be shifted a little bit further east where the air is slightly warmer. Nothing really for Bismarck, but again, if you go west on I-94, if you go north on Highway 83 out of Bismarck, you will run into that icing problem. Right between Newtown and Minot is where we have the medium and even high probability to see some freezing rain. Untreated surfaces may be very slippery. Isolated tree and power line damage is possible. All right, again, this is going to be Friday night through Saturday, so basically tomorrow night through Saturday. And check the road conditions before traveling, but if you don't need to, just don't travel at all because it's going to be very dangerous, even for North Dakota standards. So Thursday to Friday night, we will see some scattered rain showers, and most areas that get the snow may even see some rain showers ahead, but not all you guys, but some may. A few thunderstorms, especially for areas further south, maybe Bismarck, maybe points south. And then the winter mix comes in at night. So that's Friday night. Then Saturday, we start to see the freezing rain possible in the north and west. And then that heavy snow comes in Saturday through Saturday night, the blowing snow. And then obviously in the warmer areas, you will see those thunderstorms. Snow will linger through Sunday, and then areas of blowing snow, of course, with the wind left behind. Greatest impacts will be Saturday through Sunday. So again, a perfect weekend scenario right here. All right. So here's the winter storm severity index map. All right. I like to use this to measure how severe the winter storm conditions could be. Basically, anywhere in that orange, red, or purple is where you're going to see the worst conditions. So again, it's basically like the western fourth of the state of North Dakota. All right. So again, here's Minot, right on the border between minor and moderate impacts. Areas in the west, though, like even northeastern Montana, again, Crosby, Williston, and these areas right here, extensive property damage likely, life-saving actions needed, will likely result in major disruptions to daily life. And or even some extreme impacts, right? This area is probably because of the ice, and then for this extreme area, probably because of snow. Extensive and widespread severe property damage, life-saving actions will be needed, extreme disruptions to your daily lives. So yeah, this is going to be a pretty significant system. And so yeah, so here's a snow amount. So notice that purple area in the middle of North Dakota. When I click on snow amount, it goes away. So that's probably because of ice. But in terms of strictly snow, there is your winter storm severity index map. If we go to ice accumulation, again, yeah, see how it builds back up here. So this is where all the ice is going to be. Right, really not that far away from Minot. I don't think it's going to be in Minot, but not too far away to the south and west. Could be some icing conditions. That's also could be because this is an area where we are a couple thousand feet up in elevation, so that could be the reason why as well. And of course, you got the Missouri River that flows right here. All right, so that's the ice zone. And then blowing snow is going to be a problem pretty much for most of the region of North Dakota. Also down though in Montana and Wyoming. Southeast Montana, northeast Wyoming could see some icing issues as well. So let's go through, time out this system, which is what the NAM will do for us, and then we can time ourselves through maybe another storm in the future for another part of the country. All right, so here we have the 12Z run of the NAM model. Right, and as you can see, right, watch the storm come in from the west. Right, so some rain showers, again, there could be some rain showers at first for areas in North Dakota, right, especially the central part of the state. Some rain showers could flow through. Right, thunderstorms probably more so to the south, in the southern part of the state. But again, you can see they are there because at first the low pressure is pretty far north. So really cold air cannot get, dragged down from the north. Also, the high pressure to the east is going to simulate a flow like this. So it's kind of pushing that jet stream upward, and it's creating more of a warmer airflow. But then don't fret, because once that low pressure moves to the east and that cold air wraps in behind it, all right, at like supersonic speed, all right, all that snow is going to come in on the backside, and it's just going to be whiteout blizzard, lots of snow coming down. And yes, blizzard conditions are possible. Winter storm watches are out right now. Maybe blizzard watches could get posted down the line, because you saw winds in some areas that are going to gust over 50 miles an hour. And if it lasts long enough, if the conditions last long enough, you will be seeing those blizzard conditions. And there's that 540 line. Now, some people, swear, live, and die by the 540 line. Like if you're north of it, then you will see the snow. That's not always the case. The 540 line, I think, is a good guide to, like, if you're north of it, conditions could be cold enough to see some snow. And, the 540 line does present itself well here, right? You see it come down, and then if you're north of it, there's where the snow is, there's where the rain is to the south of it. So in this case, it's a pretty good depictor of that rain and snow line. Not at all times, but at some times. And here's that high pressure that builds into the west. So it's also going to force in the cold air this way. The low pressure will force in the cold air that way. So you can see why the wind is going to be so strong. And a couple of days here, and a couple of days ago here in the Mid-Atlantic, we had a similar setup where we had a high pressure down here, low pressure from that big coastal storm that just hit was here. And we just had the winds coming in they were just howling in. All right, so that's a similar scenario that's going to happen in the Dakotas here. And then that storm will pull into Canada, but just because the low pulls into Canada does not mean that we're going to see a trail line of some showers and thunderstorms, maybe all the way down into Oklahoma and Texas. So let's check out these snow totals. Just had to reload that because I had to refresh it to the new model run. So here we are with the NAM 12KM. Again, you can see 6+ inches anywhere you see that purple shading, but again, southeast Montana, northeast Wyoming could see 1.5 feet to close to 2 feet in that one orange dot right there. So those higher elevations could get close to 2 feet. Same thing with even the Sierra Nevada in a different region here. in California could even see closer to 2 feet. See those little areas of orange. But yeah, lots of snow could be coming down the line for some areas. All right, now let's go to the GFS model. All right, now just because the 6Z model goes all the way out, like we have all the frames out, I do want to stick with the 6Z model because the 12Z at the time of recording this isn't quite coming out fully yet. All right, so here is the GFS version of it, and you can see again, oops, don't want to pull up the sounding. But again, there's the low, and at first it will be raining. It could be storming, you know, out in North Dakota and even Minnesota. But then once that low moves to your east, the winds can come out of the north and northwest, and it's just going to be coming down like crazy. The snow, not the rain, of course. But again, snow to the north, so areas up in Canada, of course, as well. And again, there is that 540 line, a good depictor in this case of where that rain snow line is. And again, there's your high pressure, also bringing in some wind from that direction. Low pressure bringing the wind from that direction. It's just going to be like a funnel, funneling the wind down 40, 50 plus miles per hour, and it's going to be a lot of wind and a lot of snow. Now, what other storm was I talking about? Well, once that front moves into the east, a little low pressure forms down here to the south, and that could be a troublemaker for later on. Watch as it hangs around a little bit, and then we see something else coming in behind it. Another low moves in from the Midwest, dips down, and there you go. So that sits off the coast. Now, it doesn't look like a lot of snow, but there is some snow in the higher elevations of Vermont, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts. And again, the low is sitting decently far south, and you also notice that 540 line coming down. Now, this time, obviously, north of the 540 line, you don't see much snow. So that's why I say it's not always a good depictor, but it can be sometimes. Right? But again, some snow could wrap around, right? There's some mix of rain and snow showers before the low moves off to the east, all right? And don't call the GFS delusional because it's not just the GFS that's saying that. So we'll get to those other models right after this one. But here is the GFS, and again, feet and feet of snow in areas of southern Montana, all right? But again, the areas that we're going to be focusing on is like eastern Montana, eastern Wyoming, western South Dakota, and western North Dakota, where totals could exceed 6, 12 inches, and of course in the higher elevations of Wyoming and Montana could even exceed 2 feet, all right? Even 3 feet, all right? I mean, it's not going to get, I mean, especially from all the, I mean, from this storm, yes, but from other storms that are going to be coming on down the line as well. So yeah, 40 inches almost. That is crazy. Lots of snow. Even for mountains, like this is still a lot for you guys. It's certainly welcome as well because certainly used some last minute snow for some last minute the ski resorts out there. So here's the European model. Now they, interestingly enough, have the low stalling around. So like here is like Saturday morning. The low's over in North Dakota, central part, South Dakota. It's still there by like Sunday morning, and it doesn't really move. But when the low stalls in the middle like that, it cuts off the opportunity for Minot and Bismarck to get some snow because the low is sitting here using up its energy in that area, and it can't move east, which means the snow can't get in, so the snow is stuck in the mountains. So Montana and Wyoming, you guys are going to have a heck of a time getting some snow, while the Dakotas struggle a bit more. So the storm uses up all of its energy, and then by the time it's ready to move east, the snow isn't that heavy. So that's a scenario that could happen, and that does result in less snow for areas in the Dakotas. And there's that system. Now look at the European model. They have a lot more snow for the New England states, New York, Vermont, New Hampshire. This is like we're getting towards the very end of April. This is almost May. This is crazy, right? And you can see kind of like a trough digging down, and that low is moving north along it. So the cold air is in place, so it could happen, all right? And it could even get further south than that as well. Watch how the low kind of pulling a tropical storm Henri, if you remember. I believe, I have no concept of time. I believe it was last year, Henri. But kind of moves a little bit west like that. Came in and hooked west. Well, that's what it's doing now. All right, at least what the models are forecasting, what the European model is forecasting through April 28th. Right, and it sits around there. And look, we still have a mix of rain and snow. You see the purples if you look closely there for Vermont, New Hampshire. By the time we head towards like the last day of April, like that is crazy. So that could cause the snow totals to pile up. And in those higher elevations, you know, the Green and White Mountains, the Adirondacks can get 6 to 12 plus on those higher elevations. Even down, you know, the Catskills, over 6 inches there in New York. Even the Appalachians down in West Virginia can get a couple inches from that. But in the Dakota storm, where we're talking about further to the west here, and as well as other storms to come. But if we look at just that storm specifically, could get close to over 2 feet, you know, 1 to 2 feet plus. Western North Dakota, you know, northeastern Montana. So this is a lot of snow, especially considering we're in April and May, and there's really no sign of it coming to an end. And why is it happening? Well, April has just been a colder month in general for honestly a good chunk of the country, but especially the northern half of it has been seeing cooler air throughout the month of April. And when that happens, right, the snow is going to continue to persist because we've just been in an active pattern, and the colder air is going to keep that air cold. And instead of rain, we could be seeing snow. Right. Final model here, the Canadian model, the GFS model, also known as the CMC. I believe they're the same thing, just on different websites. But you can see, again, moves to the north, stalls for a little bit, not as much as the European had it stalling, but it does stall a little bit. And again, it will move out. The low will move east in time for the Dakotas, North Dakota specifically, to pick up on some snow. And they too do have that low stalling, right? You got the trough digging in, coming up like a hook echo right there. That's where that low sits, inside of that hook echo. And then you got the snow coming down in Vermont and New Hampshire, and Maine as well. So the Dakotas and the Northeast are areas we do have to watch, and even another Dakota storm down the line. But if we just talk about the first system here, again, 6 to 10 inches on like central North Dakota. So Bismarck, you do have the chance to pick up on a few inches, depending on if that low stalls and how quickly it does move out. Montana, 1 to 2 feet plus, and over 2 feet in those higher elevations. And then after the next storm comes in, another couple inches or another few inches could be added onto that. So at least through May, it looks, winter seems to be holding up its end here, especially in the northern half of the United States. So this is a very interesting end to the winter season. Thank you guys for watching. I am the Weather Dude signing off. Till next time, I will catch you guys in the next video.